to Off the Record, a show all about you and your interaction with us, JCTV. Drop us a tweet at twitter.com or add us on facebook.com. And now you're watching Off the Record.
Hey, I'm Reba Toney. Thanks for tuning in to Off the Record. I'm filling in for Brandon Crouch, who is skiing in the Swiss Alps. Go figure. Totally kidding. He's not skiing in the Swiss Alps. He's actually speaking. He's doing conferences all over the country. So he'll be back with us soon. But until then, I'm here with you, Reba Toney, from another show here on JCTV, Top 3. You've seen Top 3. We love having Larissa and Rich and myself and whoever else is filling in on the show. So we're going to let you know, actually, coming up soon, more information about Top 3. So make sure you tune in for that. Now, today's show, we actually have some really cool things happening. One, we've got a brand new social network, and we've got the founder on. This thing is really taking off. He's going to tell you about a server that was destroyed in the process and a friendship that was also almost destroyed in the process. Plus, Rowena Rodriguez, she's going to be here on the show, and she's going to tell us why God said no dating for 7 years. Can you imagine? And this isn't a high schooler. This is a grown woman that God said no dating for you for 7 years. So we definitely want to find out what's behind that story. Now, this has been an interesting year. The last time I was filling in on this show was New Year's, and a lot's happened since then. Have to know why God would call a beautiful woman to 7 years of no dating. And how do I keep him from calling me to that? Actually, have I been? Maybe I was called to that.
I think so.
Rowena Rodriguez from the Plain Jane Project. Tell me, what's going on? 7 years, no dating?
Okay. Let me set this straight. Like, it was, he asked for it. He said no dating. I was in church and he said no dating, and I said no. Like, you can't say no to God for very much longer. So 2 weeks later, I said, okay, all right, I'm going to give you 2 weeks. That was a lot. So I'm going to give you 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks turned into a year, a few months, a year, 5 years. And then I was like, God, this is like 6 years going on 7. And it's been 7.5 going on 8 now. And I'm like, initially, if he had told me you're going to be single for all these years, 7 years plus, and I would have just, in case of emergency, break glass
to be with the Lord.
Break glass in case of emergency. I would have been out. I would have been gone a long time ago.
Okay, what was life like before? I have to know. You were a designer. Who have you designed for?
Oh, I've done fashion design for like Art&B, Forever 21. I started my career working at BB, so everything's really sultry, really tight, really low, really short. So that was kind
and
of.
you actually design the clothes. You design the dresses.
Yes,
I
draw them out. We send them over to China. We do, a lot of the samples we do here, and then we do a lot of the mass production.
What was your life like doing that? You lived in San Francisco?
I lived in San Francisco, but then I moved to LA because that's where a lot of the fashion big corporations are here, and so life is fast. It's just like Devil Wears Prada a little bit, and a little bit of Sex and the City thrown in there. It's fast. It's all you can eat fashion. It is intense. It's all about trying to be
dating.
the first to go, and then the life is even fast afterwards. I mean, after you've worked 12-hour days, you're expected to have like a social life, and you want one. You need to go get a drink. You need to go hook up. You want to have a good-looking guy, to talk about with your girlfriends, or at the next meeting or so, and everyone. It's because it becomes a family, and so it's just it's going out to the bars and going out to the clubs, and you want to be on the VIP guest list, and you want to wear the right clothes all the time, and you want to hang out with the right friends. I mean, it was Sex and the City before Sex and the City was even invented.
And God called you out of that and into no dating.
Yeah.
Now, I know Nick Jonas wears a purity ring. But what's the difference between that and the Plain Jane Project?
Well, Plain Jane Project, we launched an event, and we called it PURI-TEA Party. And we invited moms and daughters to come in, and we had guest speakers, and I spoke and shared about my testimony and how, we won't know how to walk in purity until we look at how the Bible has modeled that for us, and it takes more than just, a lot of girls that I've talked to, a lot of junior high and high school girls are like, yeah, we already know, no sex till marriage, but it's actually, purity is actually more than that. It's not only that, and that's a big thing, that to keep your body holy and consecrated and set apart for holy purposes is a very difficult thing to do in this day and age. Everything is so permissible You know, cussing, kissing, making out, you know, hooking up is really part of their everyday life. You know, this generation at least, and you know, we were so censored growing up, and so the PURI-TEA Party basically was born out of just igniting a conversation so that mothers, aunts, grandmas can have these conversations with their teenage girls, and even, you know, young adults have this conversation.
And now it's switched over to boys too. It's both sides.
Yeah, actually, it's done so well, and we've had lots of moms go, well, what about our boys? You know, what about their purity? Don't we care about that? And shouldn't we do something about it? You know, so Plain Jane Project.
Now, that's something nobody ever talks about.
No.
I mean, Nick does wear the ring, and I'm glad, or Joe,
Yeah,
all of them.
yeah,
but
all of them, yeah.
But what are we going to do for the boys? What are you doing for that?
Well, we have an event called Proposal Night, and
Okay.
this is our first Plain Jane and Joe project.
Oh, how
so we're now
cute.
opening up the
I love it.
invitation to dads and brothers of all the sisters
And it's
that are
intergenerational. So it doesn't matter
intergenerational.
if you're an older single, a younger single.
Yes.
The age doesn't matter.
No, as long as you love the Lord and you want to pursue purity, Christ-like purity, come join us. We want to have a conversation with you, and that's where Plain Jane Project is stemmed out of. It's from Ezekiel 3:22. You know, the word says, "Then the hand of the Lord was upon me there, and He said to me, Arise, go out into the plain, and there I shall talk with you." So Plain Jane Project really is just we do events, and we're bottom line, we're really a platform to have a conversation with you.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, you can find out more about the Plain Jane Project at plainjaneproject.com. We also want you to go to faithfreaks.com and make sure you check out all the resources there. I'm Reba Toney in for Brandon Crouch. This is Off the Record. Keep it right here at JCTV. We want to see you back. Brandon Crouch will be back with us. He's skiing in the Swiss Alps. Go figure. Don't tell him I said that. It's JCTV with Off the Record.